Welcome to the Audible episode 1. I'm your host G, and this episode is brought to you by ITSGEZA.com, where you can find the most up-to-date information on my latest projects and the newly updated shop. We are talking the Ben & Jerry's Chunky Dunk, The Last Dance, A Legend Returns on the Masked Singer, and more. Let's get into it. The Ben & Jerry's Dunk Low has been one of the hardest releases to get our hands on this year. After entering so many raffles and preparing for so many L's, I'm still hopeful. Nike, if you're watching, I'm a size 8. The return of the most hype Ultra Boost ever. After its release in 2015, the Triple White Ultra Boost is back. During Powerhouse, Kanye rocked them on stage, and nothing has been the same since. The Triple White pair has been one of the most coveted colorways to date. It re-released May 17th, and I hear there are still a few pairs available to cop. On to entertainment. This past week, we all tuned into the wrap-up of The Last Dance. I think it was so successful because it gave us the entertainment we needed right now, tuning in together, coast to coast at the same time. My biggest takeaway from this doc was Jordan continuing to add value to his brand and his legacy by being himself. Despite being out of the NBA since 2003, Jordan was able to pick back up where he left off on the court and remain a god amongst men.
My game was my biggest endorsement. What I did on the basketball court, my dedication to the game led to all this other stuff. Believe me, if I was averaging 2 points, 3 rebounds, I wouldn't have signed anything with anybody. So my game did all my talking.
Up on the Masked Singer, this is your warning. Skip ahead now. Doing it for weeks now, I knew it, we all knew it, Bow Wow was the frog. Aside from all the jokes and social media blunders, Bow Wow still has the talent and the energy to jump right back into the industry. Would you support his musical comeback? In other news, High Times magazine buys dispensaries as it gets ready to go public. With the cannabis industry booming during this pandemic and home deliveries at an all-time high, will you be investing? In our weekly feature, One Thing I Love, Jason Mayden's Show and Tell. This week, Jason brought on Fear of God's Jerry Lorenzo for an inspiring conversation about the ins and outs of brand partnerships. Show and Tell is a weekly series for up-and-coming creatives who want to learn the interworkings of the sneaker industry.
Don't ever feel like these man-made systems that may not appreciate or celebrate you in the way that you feel like your work calls for. Don't let that rejection become your validation. Your validation comes from somewhere else. And the validation that you have from somewhere else is like everlasting.
You do not want to miss the next one. A quick shout out to the homies on their grind. Fits by Rag, Space Camp Fresh, Life with Dro, Tri-Stripe Life. Once again, this has been The Audible. I'm your host G. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have a story that you want me to cover, DM me on Twitter or Instagram at ITSGEZA.